Patrol members be advised. A street racer has just been reported eastbound past Diamond Park, requesting units to head up.
Oh, dispatch, I need a 1038. We should just took out another car.
Dispatch, put everyone you can over here. We need all the help you can get us.
Need for Speed 2019 should be in development if we're actually getting one. Oh, of course, we're getting another Need for Speed. It has to be the case. Need for Speed, no matter how much you dislike it or how bad it gets to, it always sells. It always will sell to somebody. Quite a lot of people due to it being multi-platform. We're getting another Need for Speed. I wanted to make a video looking back. I've been planning this for a little bit, talking about things that I want from previous games, things I don't want from previous games, and talking about what they need to do to make 2019 the Need for Speed we want, because right now it is being made, and if it isn't being made, it is being made. Launch with a packed multiplayer. I don't care if you've heard me say this a billion times over. Multiplayer, 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 multiplayer. I do not care if you disagree. You can disagree all you like, but it is a known fact. There is a long list of games that are still alive and still being played to this day because multiplayer. No one is playing GTA 5 for the single player unless they're doing mods, which is for videos. Other than that, they're playing it to play on the online section that's constantly expanding and has a grind in there that makes people want to buy things and do things. Fortnite literally died when it released because it was a single player kind of co-op-y game. They added multiplayer, they update it, it is still played. PUBG, Call of Duty, Battlefield, even FIFA. There's always multiplayer updates, there's always multiplayer changes, there's always something new into the game. The majority of people are in here playing the multiplayer. Payback launched without proper multiplayer. They added speed lists, which is the most backwards thing ever. I do not know why they decided that that was a good idea. Free roam multiplayer is what we want. That should be the base. That is the basic, and that's what we got in Payback later in update. So if it's not in the next game, there's gonna be a problem. The reason I can play even the worst game for a long time is multiplayer. But you need to expand on it to the point of, yes, we can customize cars in the story, take the cars into multiplayer, and then not only just drive around and show them off. Now that we've done that, we need to take it to a little step further, Ghost. What we need to do, we need mini games. We need activities to do. For example, look at Burnout. I've mentioned this so many times. Burnout Paradise has these free burn challenges, and love them or hate them, I am still grinding on them to this day to try and get that Diamond P12 on the PS4. You know, it's gonna happen eventually. But the point is, it's basic challenges like that that give me a cool reward. Even though it's a car that I already have and I've got better cars than it, it's a cool reward and it's such a, like a god tier reward. It's why a lot of people were grinding still, or are grinding still, on the Crew 2 to get that LaFerrari. For those people that like that type of gameplay, there's those things. Look at Forza, for example. It's going to have these public events that happen every hour or so where everyone in the lobby goes to those events and does it. You need a lot of things like that. And I want to say they need to take it a little step further. Allow basic game creation. Allow us to create rules to make our own game modes. For if you don't have a Cops and Robbers, let us make our own. We get to select what cars people are in. The objective is, oh, when this person gets hit, or when this person gets here, they win. That sort of stuff. It's to me, it would be simple tools to allow us to create multiple game modes, and it wouldn't just end up everyone making Cops and Robbers game modes because you could maybe publish your own, that kind of thing. That would be super sweet. One of the best games I have played in my lifetime is Little Big Planet and the series in general, because there is so much you can create and do in that game, and I spent hours and hours creating these crazy experiences because they gave you more tools. The GTA creator is another reason people keep coming back to that game. But to summarize, you need to expand on the multiplayer. I couldn't care in the slightest about speedless. I do not care at all. PvP doesn't bother me. I think for the majority, we want to free roam and give us little things to do like that and little game modes to do like that and give us things to do in free roam. Look at speed lists in Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. This is a game I hate, but I'm praising those speed. That is still, in my opinion, the best multiplayer Need for Speed has done in the series. Specified areas for drag, for drift, that sort of stuff. That's what we want. Please bring it. That's that topic. Stop break to drift! Look, I made shirts. I've spoken about it a million times. Break to drift is stupid. You can boast to me all you like that it's easy to pick up and hard to master and all that absolute rubbish, but I can tell you for a fact, a normal car handling model doesn't drift around every single corner, is much more pick-upable than your stupid brake to drift. I don't understand how you can have drift as a spec and race as a spec, and then both of them default in drifting. What's the point? What you need to do is allow us to make race cars, okay? And you can turn traction on, traction off, all that sort of slide help, if you will, like they do in the Crew. Do that, but allow me to make a proper grip monster that eventually won't be able to turn if I tune it too much. But please, if you're gonna do grip again, I am begging you, stop hiding it behind little hidden menus, because it needs to be a focal point. Don't just like, oh yeah, we'll do it for that one person that wants it. A lot of people want it. If they know it's there and it works properly, actually, they might use it. This is where analytics and stuff, obviously they look at numbers and it messes you over sometimes, because yes, you see this many people were using brake to drift. They don't want brake to drift. They do. They just didn't know the menu was there. And it doesn't work. It's blooming stupid. I want to grip race. I want to drive like it is a normal car. And when a drift happens, it will feel great. That's one thing that people don't understand. I don't want it to not drift, because obviously I want it to drift, but I want it to drift when I'm doing it, and I want to feel like I'm pulling off a cool drift, because when you pull off a drift in a game where it's not meant to pull off a drift, it feels much better. For example, if you're in Forza, for example, and you tune a car to drift and whatever, and it drifts well and you handle it and you pull it off, it's the most rewarding thing ever. Having a game where you tap the brake and it drifts for you is not rewarding. Just shoot Tyler. How did you not kill him? Like, just wait 2 more seconds. Okay, not just that quite, but you know what I'm talking about. Tyler is some happy go, yay, everybody's family, everybody's friend.
You'll never get away with this, Navarro.
But that's not what real racing's about. Real racing is about teamwork. Stop. It's just stupid. That's not how anyone speaks. Make it, just end it.
Let's do this.
I want aggression. The characters that people liked the most, from what I've gathered and what seems to be apparent across the board, is that people prefer the angrier characters, and the more, I'd say those are the more developed characters anyway, because they're not just happy, yay, yay, yay. Underground, it's illegal. Stop pretending that it's not illegal. It is illegal to street race. Why in God's name everybody's so happy, like, yeah, 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 we're not illegal, we're doing good. You're doing illegal stuff as well. You know better than him. Just make it a little bit more illegal, quite honestly. Stop doing these stupid, happy, cheerful characters. Sure, have 1 or 2, but what I want is some grittiness. For example, Darius. For example, Razor and his whole crew. What else? What about Carbon? What about, what's his face? The chubby one off Carbon. Even he was like, he wasn't gritty, but he was like an illegal street racer.
When he's through with you, I never want to see your face again.
Car building focus. I know, a lot of people didn't like Payback's build system. I didn't like 2015's build system. I liked that it was a step in the right direction of that. Like, that's what I wanted, upgrades and stuff, because the previous game, we didn't really have proper upgrades and stuff, so that's great. But what I want is something for grinders. What I'm liking about the Crew 2 is that I can keep grinding for stuff, and I can always get better, but you don't need the best. Unless you're doing PvP, in which case, you could have lobbies that are no perks and perks. You can have those variants if you want, because some perks will be better than others. For instance, for a NOS perk, for acceleration perk, those two will battle each other. Top speed perk may come into clutch when you're doing it. So it would change the game a little bit. So have 2 separate lobbies. That fixes that problem. You do not need to max out your car to play online on speed lists of, if it's not just boring race, if it's a mixed style of race, or if it's a mixed style of event in where you had different challenges, or get to this objective, or do donuts together, or accumulate jump distance, drift distance, backwards in reverse on oncoming traffic, that kind of stuff. That's what I want to see on the challenges. I like to use my favorite car to the end of the game. So locking out the Skyline to 299 was really stupid, and then after launch, great, now it's 399. Now what am I going to do? You've bloody killed the game already, so what am I going to... What? Let us use our lower end car. That's what Need for Speed is to me. I don't want to end up with a stupid supercar. To me, supercars, I don't really care for that many of them. I want to stay in my Skyline. My Skyline can definitely beat a lot of the supercars, so why is it locked to a certain level? At launch for the next game, we should be allowed to use every single car and get it to the top level. I don't understand. You did it in 2015 pretty much. Why couldn't I do it in this game? Sure, I want some variation. Sure, my Skyline's not going to beat some of the hypercars, for example. That's totally fine. But I want to be able to take the Skyline to, say, 1,000 odd horsepower, like it's able to do so in the real world. I think my ideal setup for this thing, because a lot of people didn't like the kind of gambling aspects of Payback, it gave people a sour taste because of the fact that microtransactions and stuff were in the game. I think in the single player story, you should not be able to put perks on your parts that you get from the story. You should get no perks. You should get standard parts. Once you've done that, you then go into the multiplayer, and that's where you start to get the perk bonuses. The parts come across multiplayer, single player as per, but you can only achieve them in multiplayer by doing challenges. For example, you can make them a reward for something, for doing one of these daily challenges. So do a daily challenges of meeting up with all your players in the Wildcat Stadium and doing, you know, a challenge, but then you unlock a special perk. That maybe that's randomized, whatever, but a special perk that will then help you progress in the story. If you want to, you don't have to get it. If you miss out, so what? I personally think that's a good way to do it. It makes it so that you get the best of both worlds. And I said the lobbies can be pretty much, if you go into the lobby, instead of removing the parts on your car, it would just disable them for that race, and then you don't have to remove them, if that makes sense. Like, just make it easy, but make it something for those that want to put the time in. Make it also for them. Like, I think that's personally the best way. But there you go. That's my quick video on 2019. There's a whole bunch of topics I could talk about. If you wanted to hear me talk about more, let me know down in the comments what you think I should talk about. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of things. For example, free roam police, but I'm pretty sure they know that because they added it in an update of, you know, we're sorry, here's a basic form of it. But I know that they're probably going to do it for the next game because we got a lot of backlash from that. They're probably going to start the next game and have online free roam. They're going to have a lot of the bases that we've been asking for the previous games, but I think now that we need to focus on what's next, because sure, they could perfect the old formula, but they do need to add a little bit more. They need to add these game modes, as I say, and give us tools to create our own stuff, because to me, that's what a lot of games are about now. Fortnite is a lot of building and people making their own game modes and stuff. Same with GTA, and those are huge games. And they're still huge to this day, even though GTA launched in, what, 2013? It's 2018 now. It's insane. So anyway, as I said, let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of these and you have any topics you want me to talk about of 2019. We're jumping in. We're starting it. This is the time we need to speak up. Be sure to smash like, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you, hopefully, in the next video. Until next time, peace.